seen him in a while either. Just trying to make sure the fly away.
And Teen ain't know who I was. I didn't know. I remember her face, but I remember her face, but I remember.
My mama
her
told
name.
me how you remember all that stuff. I said I don't remember none of that.
Yeah, I remember that time we was in the car riding Newberry, and I think we was over off of I don't know, like one of them back roads, like over off of Fairfield somewhere. We was out there for a long time.
That is hilarious. You remember all that? I told my mom, I said that child can remember some stuff when we were young.
Can't remember nothing now.
Yeah. Hi Flourishers! Welcome back to my channel. This is Anthea Lachey and I am glad that you are back for this next episode. So listen, before we get started with anything, I want to ask you to subscribe, okay? Put some thumbs up. Comment, because we want to talk to you. We want to hear from you. You know, I would like to get, feedback and just let me know if the content is blessing you. That'll be awesome too. I also want to thank my subscribers. So like I said, go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, and also share, especially if you think it would bless somebody. So peace out. Hi Flourishers. We are back, and as you can see, we have a guest today. My guest today is one of my very, 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 and that's how many times I have to say it, because we've been knowing each other just that long, a very long time. She's one of my very best friends outside of the good Lord above. He blessed me with her years ago. And I just thought it would be befitting to have her on today, because today we're going to be talking about divine friendships. Divine friendships. And as we talk about this this episode with divine friendships, as we go along, you'll understand why we decide to call it this. So before I go any further, I am going to allow her to tell you a little bit about herself, okay? So Sabrina, tell the people, who is Sabrina? See?
Okay, so I am just a humble person that, I have a husband, I have a dog, simple person, who works very hard, and I work customer service, so there you go. So I work very hard.
Yeah, she do.
So I am, I would just say just a humble person, just out here working hard and just trying to make it day by day, figure things out just like the world, just like everybody else. Yep. That's me.
That is her. So we just basically, like I said, we go come on here, chop it up with y'all. Y'all know I love the word chop it up. We're going to chop it up with y'all. Kind of just talk about the history of us, how we met. Probably talk about some things that normal friendships don't talk about. I believe, we last because of our maturity. Oftentimes, y'all hear me always say about women tend to be real catty and, be in their feelings and things of that nature. We went through that process as well. But the blessing in it all is that we were able to put our feelings aside for the sake of the friendship. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Yeah. So we'll probably talk about, some periods of time where we had to have those conversations without, I'm naked. She's a little more private, per se.
Would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you transparent, but I feel like you ain't, everybody. You don't like everybody be your business. It's fine. I mean, you open with me, but do you feel like you open with a lot of people?
Um, sure. I might be a little guarded at
Yeah.
times.
And where do you think that came from?
Mm, I don't know. Maybe past hurts. Maybe I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You think it's due to friendships and things of that nature?
Oh, I'm sure it came from friendships.
Yeah.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah. So yeah. So with us, we met in middle school. We went to W.G. Sanders Middle School. To whoever know where that is, but we went to W.G. Sanders Middle School, and we met. Um, and she probably ain't gonna think this funny because I thought it was funny, and that's why we've been friends ever since then. So she was for some reason I don't know we had what was we had enough seats or something.
I don't remember. We was in the cafeteria.
No, we was in a class. See,
I
that's what
thought
I'm
we was
talking
in the
about.
cafeteria and I walked past. We was having like an assembly or something, like an orientation.
We was in a class, and in the class we were standing up because I don't know if they, you know how sometimes they don't put enough students in the class. I mean, they put too many students
in the class.
and they had us standing up, and we was trying to figure out where we was gonna sit at. And you went to walk somewhere, and she almost bust her tail, y'all. And I just bust out laughing. And she turned around talking about, what you laughing at? And ever since then, we've been friends. So y'all can imagine how our friendship went because of our encounter. Okay. So anyway, that's how we met. And for people that know me, know that I am very, very, very protective over the people that I love. Like real talk. Um, Sabrina has always to me because, like I said, we met in middle school, and so I didn't know her much when it came to kindergarten and elementary and stuff like that. We met in middle school, so with that being said, I didn't understand the struggles and stuff that she possibly had prior to that. So, but when I met her, she was more on the quiet side, like more on the reserved side. Now, as we got to know each other, she became more open or whatever. And I think a lot of times people just thought they could bother you, as I would say,
And did.
because she was quiet. But she really, to be honest, she don't play no games. Okay, but she has a pure heart. That's why I love her to death. I would tell anybody that I speak to when it comes to my circle of friends that you've always had a heart for me. Like
And
your
did.
love just always been
I
genuine.
love
And say,
hard.
yeah, she loves hard, and that's another thing. I think that's good to talk about. Where do you think that came from? Like you loving hard, like your friends, loving them like the way that you do, because you really do. When they are your friends, you
I think it probably came from being alone all the time.
yeah.
Like, because I'm an only child,
Mm-hmm.
and so and a latchkey kid, if anybody knows what that is.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, probably since maybe the time I was like 8 years old, 7, 8, you know, staying at home by myself, cooking by myself. I spent a lot of time
Yeah.
by myself as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's what that came
That
from.
was yeah.
So, and I always wanted siblings. So my friends were like my siblings, were like my sisters and brothers.
Yeah. I can get that because that's one of the things I was gonna say that we had to overcome. One of the things we had to overcome is because what we have in common is we're both only children. The difference between us, because a lot of times people think that when you're only child, you tend to have a lot of things in common, which that is true. But we also, me and her, had a lot of things that were not, and that made us bump heads a lot growing up. I'm an only child, but I was an only child that entertained myself. I didn't really long for brothers and sisters. I just I call myself a loner and a drifter. And that might be surprising to some of y'all that's watching this, for me saying that. But I give that to the Lord. Because people tend to, she always would tell me, people draw to you. They, people come to you, but that ain't even me. That's what's within me or whatever. But I never was the one who longed to have many friends. I mean, I bless God that I do, but and I ain't gonna say I got a lot of friends. I mean, I got the people that's closest to me, but I was one that I can go somewhere by myself, and not even think about it. I could be in a group of people and I wander off somewhere else. Like if we in a group and I go to the mall, I can go to the store by myself. I can do a lot of things by myself. Have always been like that. With her, just like she said, she longed for siblings, and she looked at us as sisters, and the guys that we were close to, those was her brothers, and she loved them to the core. So when it came to her and I, we will always get into it because if I do something, how would you act when I did something without you?
Yeah, it bothered me. It bothered me. So why you didn't invite me? I wanted to go. You don't think about me? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I hated to be left out. I'm still that way to this day. Like my friend, don't leave me out. I don't care if I can't come. You better invite me.
Yeah.
And don't let me find out you did something or had something without me, and you didn't invite me. You didn't tell me. I'm gonna be looking side eye like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But do you think it was is as bad as it was when you were younger?
Um, probably, probably not. I don't know if that was. I don't know. Sometimes I don't want to speak nothing on myself. Maybe I had some kind of compulsiveness or something
Well,
like
that's
that.
real. Like that's real.
Yeah, but I don't think it's as bad as it was.
Mhm.
I do feel a type of way. I might side eye you and I won't say nothing. I'll keep
Mhm.
it internal. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one of the things. Just to move a little forward because we might go forward and we might go back some. So I just remember. I don't know if you remember this, but when we had our reunion, what that was, our 20th or our 25th reunion, class reunion.
I think no, it had to be the 20th
The
because
20th, because we about to go on 30, right?
yeah. It seemed like it wasn't 5 years ago, so
Yeah. Okay. So I think it was our 20th anniversary.
class reunion.
Huh?
Gathering.
Yeah, class reunion.
Reunion.
There you go. And we hadn't seen each other in a while. When we had that reunion, because we was in different spaces, um, dealing with different things. Just life was happening and things of that nature. I was, a mother of two and stuff like that. You had done got married and all that.
Got married? No,
Or did you get married after
I
the
think
reunion?
I got married afterwards.
But you and Ernest was together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was in a relationship, with a husband now, um, doing her thing. I think was you ended up going to college and stuff after that too, right? Finishing rather. Was you in
Yeah,
school?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that tells you it was a lot of space that we didn't have, and it was a lot because, like I said, we were friends at a very young age. We went through a process. When we got our 20s, you know how it is when you're 20s. Ain't nobody can tell you nothing. We already were very different when it came to how we were raised and our perspective of things, stuff like that. But then as you get older and you get in your 20s, like I said, I was a mother of two by the time I was 22. So that takes you in a whole nother dynamic. And I mean, she never made me feel no different. I mean, when I got pregnant with my son or whatever, and with Peaches in the well, yeah, that was a whole other thing. So when I got pregnant with Zay, she was there 100%.
I was excited.
Yes, like she was there. But with Peaches, not so much. But like I said, this is a process of living and learning, which taught me, because I feel like at that moment, you really, I mean, even though, like I said, I feel like I wanted you to understand, but I also feel like you kind of took your, you were teaching me how to treat you, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is like, you felt left out, even though I didn't do it to make you feel left out. But I feel like, thank you, Holy Spirit. I felt like because I didn't immediately tell you, because y'all, what y'all don't know is when I got pregnant with my second child, I was very disappointed in myself. And that probably could be for another time, but just to give you some meat around what we're talking about, when I got pregnant with her, I didn't share. I just shared with people that I needed to because of the type of job I had, and as well as when I got my hair done and things of that nature. And Sabrina found out through one of those people, and she was very, very upset about it. However, when I said thank you, Holy Spirit, I just feel like you always wanted me to know that no matter how I feel,
what the situation was, I'm there for you.
You there for me. And see, and I don't want to get teary eyed, y'all, but she's always been there for me, no matter the ugly. Like even at a young age, I could say that we were very mature because, like she said earlier, we were latchkey kids.
Mm-hmm.
Our parents had to work, and we did become that support for one another. Because if we were at my house, we were at her house. Um, so I just think that was a time where you probably didn't know it, but I think that was a time that you were teaching me how to treat you. That's something I talk about all the time. You have to teach people how to treat you. We are responsible for how people treat us. We want to get mad at somebody else, but we can't have expectations of people if we're not leading it first. We got to show people how to treat us. So I say I appreciate that. I mean, you probably didn't know that.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
That's a lot of things that you taught me as well, because probably before, like I said, I love hard, but probably before I met you, I I didn't have a whole lot of social skills. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. From being by myself all the time, I've always had issues with socializing.
Yeah.
So I think you kind of helped me in being able to socialize a little bit better, knowing how to because in all honesty, the kids in the neighborhood like used to always seem like I always had to either fight or be in some sort of. But I felt like they was my friends, and I thought that every friend fought, every friend, I'm talking about fist fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that that's how it was, but that's not how this was. This was something different, something that I never experienced before. Because, like I said, all my friends apart from one.
Yeah.
We had some sort of altercation, some sort of this, but again, that's just probably from me being by myself, not really being socialized enough, being around people enough at that time to get those skills needed.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I hope this helped people because that's not healthy. And I would tell her that all the time. Like I said, I didn't play when it come to her. She's I feel like I'm optimistic, but she optimistic times 10. Okay.
Here we go.
And something could be going on, y'all, and we'll be talking about it, and she'll be like, "What? When that happened?" And we'll be like, "Sabrina, you was right there." But she just sees the good. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Block it right on out.
Yeah,
block it right on out.
She sees the good, and just she wants everybody to be good, and we need all of that. Makes the world go round. It does, But that's why you have to have friendships. You got to have accountability. You got to have people in your life that, like the Bible says, iron sharpens iron. Where I'm weak, she's strong. Where she's weak, I'm strong. So that's how it always should be. So going back to the reunion, we hadn't seen each other in a while. Well, no, let me go back because y'all probably like, oh, what happened to the baby thing? What happened was, how she taught me how to treat her was, when I got pregnant with my daughter, I didn't tell nobody. She found out about it, and I can remember going to her because she called me. She was upset. We talked about it, whatever, but she wasn't hearing it. So I said, okay, I'm gonna let her calm down because that's how our relationship would be. We'll get into it, be mad, we'll calm down, and then we'll revisit it or come back. Well, yeah, sister friend wasn't having that. I think I had what it was, a picture of Peaches, or yeah, it was a picture because I had done. We had, to be honest, we ain't talked the whole time I was pregnant with her. So that was a long time. Like me thinking about it, that was a long time. But anyway, I missed my friend because she was such a big important part when I had my son. When Peaches had took some pictures, because we worked at the same plant, I went down there to show her the picture, and my sister friend, looked at that picture. As much as she loved children, she looked at that picture like, oh, okay, that's how she did me, y'all. I don't know how I felt about that. What was your feelings in that moment? What was you feeling in that moment?
I'll just say that whenever I find that whenever I am upset about something and I kind of retreat, but like it comes off as being mean.
Mm.
My hurt comes off as being mean versus um,
That you hurt?
yeah, you think I'm being mean to you, I'm being spiteful, but that's my hurt.
Yeah,
That's
I got you.
that's me showing you, hey, I'm hurt by that thing. But okay,
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so like I said, we hadn't seen we done with that portion, but we got going back to the reunion. So we hadn't seen each other in years. All these things happened in between that time, things of that nature. I think I got to because we went to the W.J. Keenan High School, whoop, whoop, Raiders. What we was, blue and gold. Blue and gold. Okay. Anyway, I was a little late coming in. Everybody was, y'all was standing out there in the center court because that's where we all used to gather in high school and stuff like that. And I got there a little late, and to be honest, I think you probably was one of the first people I saw when I got there.
And we
And
hugged
and
for
we
so
hugged
long.
for so long, y'all, and it was just so beautiful. Like, I miss my friend, you know? And it was like we didn't even go through some of the things that we went through.
I don't know what it was about that moment, but I feel like that moment, in that moment, like it was like there was never a separation.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. I did. So much so, because this is how we always was. Like, we was those girls in high school. Like, and what I mean by that, we were involved. Um, from middle school to high school, we used to be in a singing group. Um, we can dance, so we were, the girls that people, knew. I felt like we never treated anybody any different, um, because of the things that we did. But what I will say is that we still was in our own little world. Like, we need to have everybody else. As long as we had each other, along with,
We was our own clique. High school
yeah,
have cliques,
yeah,
and we definitely were our own cliques. Like we, like she had like different cliques that she was a part of, but everything still came back to just she and I.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And we had a good time. I tell people all the time, when we hung together, we wasn't that group of friends, I feel. And that's what I think made us mature and even made me who the woman I am today, is that when we had conflict, anything went wrong with our friend group or whatever, we were able to have meetings, have conversations. Now don't get me wrong, it might got a little spicy with, some of us, but we were still able to kind of talk about it to one another versus going out to other people talking about each other. Now if it got out, it got out, but I believe that it ain't like you ain't heard it, because we will let each other know.
We already talked about it.
Yeah. So if anybody got any feelings after that, then that was something else. So, but anyway, we loved on each other, and I was gonna say once we, cause that night we went out to they had a dinner at what it was, what the thing
was it Wet Willis?
Yeah,
the top
at
floor.
the top floor. Yeah, they had the remainder of it at the top floor, and y'all, like, don't get me wrong, we had fun, but next thing you know, her and I, we left and went out and sat in the car for hours
Talking.
and really talking about some of the things we had endured.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about some of the things that we endured. We talked about some, me being, I feel like it was more like an apology to each other. Like we didn't come out and say we were sorry because we didn't really identify what we were sorry about or apologizing about. But I know I was able to identify then, saying that I didn't know what you needed as a friend, because, and it wasn't until, that separation, and that's what I'm going to say. Sometimes it takes you to be separated from somebody for a time to kind of, have life. Life will teach you some things if you allow it to. But I think it was a time where I had to learn who I was and what type of friend I was, and to be able to come back and say, I couldn't articulate how to handle you, because when you're growing up, you don't. We're just kids. We really don't know how to
trying to maneuver, trying to manage, learning.
Yeah. So I would say when we was in the car talking, I had to let her know, like, yeah, now I understand. You needed me to be there. Like I had to need to learn how to balance, not totally not be me, but just know her love language and what she needs. And sometimes we have to be selfless sometimes with one another, with the people we love. You know what I mean? I think you've always been that way, but probably didn't guard it very well. But I just feel like you've always been that way. But as I talked about it, she began to understand, how we differ. Because I just feel like when you have a separation and there's something there, it's important to come back and have those truth conversations about, where you are before you go on to open up the new journey or the new direction or whatever. I mean, how you feel about that one?
I think it's a matter of the heart. I think when you truly love somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not harnessing like a bunch of ill feelings towards the person, you genuinely love someone, I think it can move forward. I've never been the type of person to hold grudges, or if something happened, we able to talk about it. I'm always willing and open to talk about whatever the situation may be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think when you genuinely love someone, there's always that opening to move forward.
I agree.
It's just about what you want. Is that what you really want? How good of a person was this person? Were they, how did they treat others?
That's good.
And by looking at those things, you should know whether or not this is a person that should be in your life or should, you should be able to move forward with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's factors there, but like I said, when you genuinely love someone, I feel like there's an opening.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I like love about our friendship is because you know I can always be, and here come the word because people be laughing at me, but I'm just serious. I could be naked before her. I could be naked before all my other friends, my accountability. And I always tell them, like, if I can't be naked before you, then why are we here? And then vice versa. I want them to be naked before me, no matter what avenue, like what place in life that we are is never too high. I don't ever want to get too high where I can't allow the people that I love and say that I love be who they are. That's why the podcast or the YouTube channel is called Flawed but Purposed, because we all have flaws, but it's in those flaws that there's you know lessons. There is things, you know what I'm saying, that we learn and that we can overcome. And we got to be able to, everybody can't handle our flaws. It ain't for everybody to handle. And we have to be good stewards of ourselves, I would say, to know who can handle, what we have. Because, yeah, you handled a lot of things with me. You know what I mean? And sometimes when I tell her stuff, don't
And
get me
vice
wrong.
versa, and vice versa. We both did. Ain't nobody perfect on either side.
Mm-hmm. And so, um, that's one of the things that I love about her. Like I said, I could be naked before her. We're gonna talk junk. I'll go back to the reunion. I mean, we it's so funny how we really jump back in, because when we were younger, this one over here used to call my house every morning asking people, "What you wearing?"
Again, I think that had to do with compulsiveness. I had a compulsive something going on.
Y'all, the thing about it is, and we used to argue all the time. Not no bad arguer, but even like
silly stuff.
yeah.
Stuff.
But we were just always. I got a cousin too, my sister cousin. It's the same thing. That's just our relationship, but it's all out of love. Because the thing about it is, even though I'm like the mother of the group, because I protected all of them, but now and then I think that was just their way of trying to act like they had the boss of me or whatever. But yeah, but they still like it's getting worse as we get older. Because just before we got here to record, she looking at me side eyed because I was telling her I wasn't feeling good, ain't been feeling good, and she telling me I need to take care of myself, which is good. But I'm that one that always keep it on and going and stuff. But anywho, even when we got together in that moment, she called me, asked me what I'm wearing, told her what I was wearing. Then we get to the place, and it's so funny how people really remember you. We walking and we steady fussing, and they was like, "Y'all still fussing?" And we like, "Yep, we sure are." So, I just say all this to say, y'all, like, the reason why we call this divine friendships, because one of the things is when we were in middle school, I think it was, and we was at your house, and your mom had pulled out some pictures, and we didn't even realize that we knew each other as toddlers. Her mama pull out some pictures, and I'm looking at the picture, and I'm like, "That's me on the picture." So we was trying to figure out how we knew each other, and to come to find out, my dad, when he was in my life, um, he had a girlfriend, and his girlfriend's sister had a
daycare.
And he would take me over there, y'all, to play with her. And so to know that we were meant to be then and we are still here now, I feel like we were divinely put together for just more than we could ever think of, but for purpose. Because we're in times now where friendships are really not lasting, especially females. Would you say that?
Absolutely.
And why you feel that?
Because there's no, I just feel like a lot of young girls or younger women don't have any boundaries, don't know how to treat people. They, I don't know, they don't care about anything. Like when, as a kid, yeah, you feel like you're invincible, but they just don't, to me, don't care about anything. Like they don't have that. They can't make those attachments.
Yeah. And then what you feel about the disconnect now, just within your own experience with your friendships that you know to be healthy versus the ones that you found to be not so healthy, like your toxic ones. Like, how would you compare the two? Or is it any comparison to it?
Yeah, there's some comparisons. There's some comparisons. Like I have different friends. Like I have friends that I feel like if I want to go out and have a good time, these are friends to go with. I have friends that I'm like, if something is going on, or I need to talk, or I need to be healed. I got friends I can call that's gonna help me spiritually, or that's gonna help to guide me, or be concerned that to put me in a place where I'm able to find my way out, find a solution to whatever it is that's going on. And it's not, the solution is not toxic. The solution is beneficial, or in a good way. I'll just
I got you. So let me ask you a question.
But wait, to answer your question,
go ahead.
The difference is like I said before, you really have to examine these people that you're around and see how they treat other people. And sometimes, like for me, like I said, I love hard, and when you love hard, sometimes your blinders are on. You could be blind to things. I mean, totally blind. Like you could see that, but they be like, in your mind, you be like, yeah, yeah, I saw that, but that wasn't that bad. Or you make excuses for them
because you want to be,
because I'm Optimus Prime, like my husband said.
Not Optimus Prime, leave it to Ernest. Go ahead.
Because I'm optimistic. I'm looking at people and only wanting to see and only focusing on the good, not realizing and being woke and aware of the things that they are doing that are toxic that I need to take heed to.
And I said we do that in relationships too. Like,
definitely.
Yeah. Because to be honest, I believe, we be optimistic, but at the same time, I believe they're giving us something that we want. And what I mean by that is, we allow our desire to drive us.
And so we put up with stuff.
So we put up, Okay. Like for you put up with it because you're longing for the sisterhood, the friendship, not knowing that they're not giving it to you in the way it should be given. You know what I mean? And so when it's a relationship, let's be real, it's because you're getting that companionship. You're thinking it's love, but it's really lust. The dude don't even really care. But like we said, that's another episode. But I guess before we leave here, I just want to ask her just one more question. Um, and that question is, what is friendship to you? When you think about it, what is it in your whole heart and heart? What is it to you?
That's a good one. When I look at the people who because we use the word so loosely. Mm-hmm. But when I truly, truly look at people that I consider friends, it's very few of them for me. Mm-hmm. And those friends that I have, I feel like it's how I love on them and how they reciprocate that back to me. Mm-hmm. And it's, I don't know, it's almost unexplainable, but it's just a feeling that I have for them, a love that I have for them. Mm-hmm. That is not like others, mm-hmm. that are not like outside of those people that I consider a friend. Yeah. And I feel like I know we've used the word before, but to me, they are my siblings. It's like how you have a mother and a child, and that mother, that child can go out here and they be doing this, that, and the other, and the mother will reprimand them for whatever it is that they did wrong, but that mother never takes her love away, right? Yeah. So that's how I feel, because I'm not perfect. Nobody out there is, but the few friends that I have, no matter what, we have always been able to come back together, and I just feel like that's what friendship is, like just being able to get past things. Mm-hmm. Being able to love on each other, being able to reciprocate it back to the other person, mm-hmm. and just being there when it most matters. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, so I feel the same thing. Like it should be, friendship is to me a bond, a sisterhood. It should be a safe space, safe place for people that are involved. It should be, we should know how to cover each other, protect each other, just all the things, When we talk about love, you always talk about how you love hard and different things of that nature. When you love one another, the Bible tells us love does not envy. You know what I'm saying? Love does not hurt. We're not supposed to do these things. And if we do subject ourselves to those things, we're able to come back, because like you said, we're not perfect. And we're able to come back and just be, ask for forgiveness, apologize, have those conversations, and walk that thing forward to, move forward. Right. So, okay, y'all. We're gonna, you good? Is there anything else you got to say? Anything on your heart to tell the people? Not at this time. Not at this time. No. Well, I appreciate you coming, Boo Boo. Absolutely, anytime. Yeah, I call her my ride or die friend, because I'm that one that don't do much, but when I want to do something, I know who to call, and she that one. So you got to have one of those on your side too. So before I leave today, which was good because I was asking the Lord, like, what should I read today? And as I told y'all before, that I always ask God, to lead me and guide me. There was something she said earlier in the video about being open, and lo and behold, she don't even know I have something that I wrote, and it's called Open. So we're going to end this with this right now. You see all of me, and I see parts of you. You knew me before time. Open. Even though I do not speak a word out loud, you hear every sound. Open. Though some tears I cry are not seen, you know everything. Open. I walk silently in pain. You still cover and fix every step of the way. Open. My love for myself sometimes fade away. However, you are still love in every way. Open.